Hey, how's it going? I am going to read you some cards. If I can get this thing to behave. Please look at my signs. So, I wanted to talk and I wanted to see if what I'm going to talk about is if the cards are going to agree with it. So, I was thinking about how, about this time last year, a whole thing happened. It's just been one, crazy mess after another. Well, I was going to say it's funny, but it's not funny, it's not hilarious, because my thing happened, and it's still like a hole I'm trying to dig my way up to the top edge of. It's a mess. But, things are a lot better, too. But a friend of mine, after that, had a thing happen to him that was, well, theirs was physical, and mine was financial, so... But both, well, I mean, his got financial too because it was physical. And it just really, neither of us were ready for it, but I was going to say he got knocked for a loop, but he literally got knocked for a loop, pretty severely injured. And it kind of sent a jolt through, I would say, our community online, because we've all known each other, or many of us on there have known each other for 30 years, and we care about each other. So when this person had this thing happen to them, and it was this whole, getting the right kind of treatment and specialists, and when you're not, this person has government insurance, so when you're not buying the insurance outright, even though they screw you there too, I think you get treated a little bit more like a real person when your insurance isn't Medicare or whatever. So the thing about, I guess, for both of us, is the recovery period and process. Because what happened to me, like I said, it was financial. It changed my whole existence. Because I had everything set up where it was just, everything had a place. Everything got paid when it was supposed to get paid. And I had a routine, and it was, it was really anal, actually. But I stayed out of the kind of trouble I don't want to be in, like I am with banks and crap now. So, and by the way, not through any, I didn't do anything. Someone wrote me a bad check, and it just set off a cascade of terrible, And, I'm still catching up from, well, that actually happened a little bit after now, but more or less a year ago. But the thing is it kind of fits into that whole change motif that I and probably everybody else has been talking about for, well, ever, because change is always happening. It's the conversation kind of doesn't change that much when it comes to that. But we do, though. Myself, I'm going to just say, and I know it's not unique to me, when the changes were happening because of the financial changes, which meant that I wasn't regularly paying for things like my cable bill, and I was so bummed, because, it makes it more conducive to doing review videos if I can watch a movie on something bigger than this thing in my hand. It's kind of not as fun an experience. And other things changed, because of that. And it was probably more difficult than it needed to be for longer than it needed to be, because I was fighting it. And I can talk and talk and talk, but can I take my own advice? I finally did, like, figure out, do all of the things, like, that I talk about on here, like all the woo-woo stuff. And I suppose it slowed a downhill on fire poo ball. I don't know. There was just, that was the main thing, like the losing the cable bill, because it was also my internet and my mobile phone and my landline. So the cascade is when I didn't get their monthly, like, on the day like usual. They got like part of it in the middle of the month, but when they didn't get it on the day, they sent me right to collections. So that was another thing I did not need. And but all of those things, I kind of feel like I just want to walk away. Like, I just don't even care. It doesn't matter. But it does to other people, and they make a big stink about it. So I just had all of a sudden all of these new responsibilities that, if not for this person, whoever did this to me, and I would probably still just be going along like I was last year. But things happen, I guess, because my life kind of changed. Like, it would be drastic for me. So, like, I hadn't talked to a friend since I last had a television. I just spoke to him again recently, and I was telling him, and I was like, yeah, I don't have cable. She was like, you don't have television? Oh no, you must be freaking out. Well, it's been a year. I'm at the point finally where I have cut the cable, so to speak. You know what I cut, though, was all that money. Even though they're not the cause of my problems, they did not help. But I really got to experience that whole resistance will screw up your forward momentum thing. Well, if you can't pay for stuff, like if you gotta pay for transportation, you're not going anywhere. You want to eat stuff, you're not going to a restaurant. You might be going to a grocery store or something like that. But it just came into my head, like, the sudden abrupt transition from where you were, like, content and comfortable, to all of a sudden you're homeless and you're outside. And I thank goodness that has not been my experience, like, at all, what I was talking about. I have been there, though, for a very short time, and I was at home, so I could, do the couch surfing, and I didn't even really need to do that, because I had a car and I had a job. So it wasn't a very long period of time, but you're just still out there vulnerable. And if you've read enough horror and watched enough horror movies and suspense and SVU and everything else, you're just out there, no bathroom in the car. Anyway, the point is these drastic changes hit you, and you gotta kind of roll with it. And I was talking about it leading up to I just got way out of order. Never mind what I was talking about, but I have pulled the cards several times over the past year, talking about going with the flow and the water, and like insinuating yourself into the flood waters so that you're not bashed by them because you're a part of them. And talk is cheap. All talk and no action is not your friend when action happens. So there have been people much worse in much worse situations than I have with the homeless thing, for sure. And so it just once in a while in our lives, some big thing comes to just up and everything. We have a lot of cycles in our lives. I don't even know which one or ones I'm in. I don't know when one began and when it ends. And it sounds like there's so many that there's always something all the time, you know. I can't tell you more than that about it because I'm not like sensitive. I don't feel it, whatever. But I feel like more of it's gonna come as the years go on before they get better, but I feel like they will get better. It's just like I've already noticed that people, when they see someone homeless, they don't even consider them still like a person that had a life and a job and a house and a family and whatever else. It's just like that is like incised from their perception of the person. Like they're less of a person. It's like full victim blaming too. It's like their fault. It's your fault that you're out here. Like I don't think they even know. Don't even have a direction to point, but they just figure you are because whatever. Yeah, in my mind, I'm thinking of someone that is like the owner of the corporation or something that can't understand why someone doesn't have their bootstraps. And it's the guy that was the security guard 2 days ago, but he lost his job. And, you know, one of the things I do before I start doing this is like look at other stuff. And I was listening to a Cryon channeling, and he was talking about how the world, or we people, have become so rude and mean, and we don't care that we are that way to each other. And it's not everyone, and I know Cryon knows it's not, you know, he knows it knows it's everyone, you know. It's why it's like a virus itself. If they're not already rude and nasty, it's coming your way, coming to your nearby, coming to a town near you. But coincidentally said another thing in the same talk about how, you know, maybe it wasn't that same video, but the person said that of course we don't have gun safety because we're gun crazy. It's like a total vicious circle. I lost my place. Well, I have to think that it happens all the time, so I don't know how to convey a significance for it happening like now, as opposed to whenever else. But I would say it's a good time to be successful. And also to have something go horribly wrong. So the changing circumstances definitely like changed me. I'm not sure I could tell you in exactly what ways, but whatever happened between the me that had the television and it was basically just on all the time, and I was watching it a lot of the time too. And the difference between then and now is just insane. It's just like this whole block of time and space in my life, like a 50-inch block. And it was just a waste of time, really. I mean, not all of it. There's certainly stuff on any screen that there's some things worth watching on there. But the fact that I was doing it so much was probably not great. So the circumstances change, and then we have to change, and then if we don't want to change, that's us resisting, and that's really only going to screw up that person's own program. Like, I think that's the way things are meant to work. But I see, like, I feel like there's going to be more people that have, like, the sudden, abrupt, big change, like, significant change in their life where they're just going to have to, just start from scratch, basically, like, reinvent their life and maybe themselves, too, their appearance. And sometimes when you're under those circumstances and where you're hit by like a sudden massive heart attack or type event, and you can't like do things for yourself, like you can't still go out and work and earn the money, so if you're like kind of incapacitated, that money's running out. That is an issue. That's a problem. But you're in that situation, especially like if you are medically like sort of incapable, even if it's temporary, there has to be like a power of attorney, a person looking out for you and your affairs while you're out of it and incapacitated. And what the hell was I just talking about? I know I had a point. Oh God, I lost it. I hate it when that happens. Oh, you're incapacitated. What was that? I don't remember. Oh, I can't stand it when that happens. I don't know. I want to say it, but I guess I didn't. I needed to write it out or something because I can't get past this one point where I had something major happen and it like changed me, and it changed my life, and then it changed me probably for the better. And I could say probably my friend with the physical injury situation, something somewhere maybe, because I think they're still recovering. Somewhere along the line, some earth-shaking thing is going to come along to them, into their awareness, and it's like we all have to do it before a whole thing for everybody can change. Like everyone has to experience it. Just like never mind. Other things that can be experienced and we came to regret like experiencing it so heartily, and now can't unexperience it without a problem now. Sidetrack, but the meat of it, what I want to say is the new person that you become, like what you go through and what you learn as you go through it, you are like pretty much starting with a clean slate. And I guess we do that when we age, like a year or 5 years or 10 years. I feel like we sort of rejigger our identity for like outgoing consumption. We may be essentially the same around the house and friends and everything like that, but I don't know why I just said that. But I feel like you have to go out and be all robotic, and then what does that have to do with what I'm talking about? And then when you come home, you can be relaxed with your people. I suppose that's a form of going with the flow, although that sounds more like conformity than adaptation, but it was completely non sequitur, so I don't know. But a lot of the experiences that are hard, that we have to even learn how to do something without a teacher, like teach yourself, and you gotta do it fast for reasons, whatever is happening in the story. Man, my eyes are going blurry. Oh shoot, I didn't even do cards yet. So, okay, I'm gonna stop trying to say it. You may have gotten the gist. So I pulled, oh boy, 1, 2, 3, and 4 cards from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck, and I'm not going to show it to you because it's buried. I got a lot of crap up here, a lot more. So from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck, I pulled number 15 card, Dust Devil, and the subtitle is Moving Out of Stagnation. I guess the cards are going to go along with me. So yes, you know, the sudden events, the abrupt, like, startling events that maybe, like, actually break a bone or something, that happens because you're pushed to, like, go contemplate or go out and do something, like, whatever it is that you're not doing, and you're just sitting around, like, you know, in the starting position, but you're just, like, not going anywhere. Like, you have sat down with a cigarette or smoking some coffee. You sat down, lit a cigarette, and are drinking some coffee, looking at People magazine or whatever. You're your phone. But you're not, like, getting up and doing the thing you're supposed to be out there doing. And I think I was saying, too, you know, like, you have to, like, let those things out, because if they just stay inside, then that becomes another mess you have to deal with. And you can't even get a hold of that to, like, smooth it out and tamp it down. It's its own literal weather system. And the 6, well, I guess I don't want to go tarot with it, because I don't think that's the right definition. I'm just going to move on for the moment. And so the next card I pulled was in the hand. Big giant hand of God, all ready to catch you in your golden nascent, I don't even know what that is, big bird. What is a big bird, little girl? I can't remember the name, but it looks like there's the big bird beak and eyes with the pom-poms. My vision is not great. Maybe it's just putting together the best picture it can. It may not look like that at all on here. So in the hand is the card, and the subtitle is The Universe is Your Partner. Well, I think that is true. Check this out. Yesterday, I was taking a shower, and I have one of those shower heads on a hose, and I was, whatever, you know, taking a shower, and I saw some water come out of a place. Like, it wasn't it wasn't coming out of the shower head. It just didn't look right. And when I finally was able to focus on it, it was the hose connected, well, coming unconnected from the shower head, and it absolutely did come all the way off. And then I had soap in my hand because I was taking a shower, and the hose just leapt out of my hand. It was doing this, you know, but I, you know, have the shower curtain, of course. Some did get out. It was kind of crazy. And why am I talking about that? Oh, and so that's inconvenient. Like, I can take a bath. I have a bathtub, but it's not a good time for me to try to be hauling myself up out of a deep, slippery hole. And there's grab rails in that, but I have, like, I do a lot of, I guess, physical activity, but truly I am a painful wreck. I am in pain. Anyway, so I went over to, I was not happy about this because, you know, I'm going through this hair thing. I would like to be able to use the shower head to, you know, rinse the treatment stuff out of my hair. It's just like household products. It's not like all chemical weirdness, but still don't want it on my hair when it's time to remove it. Why was I talking about that? No, I'm leading up to something. Oh, right. So, shower head all messed up, and I had to go over to the office to inform the manager. It was on my way to get the mail, so I went in person, and I told her about it. Oh, I'm forgetting a part in the shower. So, I noticed the water that's not the shower water, like, spraying out, and I knew it wasn't coming from the right place, but before I could, like, crystallize whatever I was looking at, the shower head popped off and went boop and just hit me right in the head there. And it was hanging on by like a kind of a thread, but the whole part where you twist it on had broke off where the sort of soft rubbery hose was, and it created like a torsion point, and the water was, you know, again, I was taking a shower. So I go to the manager's office on my way to get the mail to tell her this, and I got some incredible news. She said that due to an accounting error, I only had to pay like $62 rent this month. Hallelujah. You know how good that's going to be for that stuff I was talking about in the beginning? So I had some other things happen where I definitely had the opportunity to lose my temper, lose my patience, lose my mind, but I didn't. And I, with intent, I was like, I'm not going to do that, because actually the reason why I really want to like do as best I can to, I guess, graduate to the next level is because I want to graduate to the next level. Like, what is ahead of there? Here, I just can't wait to learn the mysteries. So that was like, I felt like I got a little prize because I had gone through some hours of incredibly frustrating conversations with this particular cable provider, and if you're not buying like phone or computer stuff, you better get out of the line. The friendliness is gone. Okay, so oh, now I thought the whole shower thing was terrible. Of course they're gonna fix it because they have to here where I live, but like I said, I thought it was like a little prize for keeping my temper when dealing with the corporation that will go unnamed. And because you know, when by the time you're calling them, you're already like about to scream. Like, you wouldn't be calling them if you didn't need help. If you couldn't just, it's easier to just figure it out yourself. You don't even really want to be calling up and getting involved with they run you in circles and don't like do anything really. It's terrible. But I said, okay, I'm not going to give in to the temptation to get angry, and the shower head thing, I have a sub caregiver that came in this week, and when that happened, she said, "What is this place, a slum?" I'm like, well, I've seen worse, I can tell you that. I've seen worse apartments, like just regular apartments, than this place. But anyway, I just felt like for the mishap and the misfortune, I got like that accounting error as a present. Very cool. And with the initial incident, I mean, I wasn't, but if I'm going to tally up like something kind of really effed up happened, but sort of in exchange I got something really cool, that it's really cool. So no matter the mishap, the universe is your partner. They got it in hand. They got you back. And then I got so yeah, that's the number 31 card. This is the number one card, the tidy house card. And usually I look at these houses and think of like societal conditions, but I feel like they're each standalone. They just have their own story today. And in context with this, I feel like, well, something else that has been on my mind lately too, and it was I've talked about it, is the having the presence of mind to stop before you think and do. I know it sounds impossible if you haven't been trying to do it for a while, and when you first try it is kind of impossible, but it can be done if you're persistent, you know. So actually, if I were gonna go like different houses of society here, I'm not gonna like put a representation on any one of them, but you might be able to. I just think it's kind of interesting. So a tidy house, clarity, and organization. That is something that, especially when things are upsetting, I guess you could say, and it's affecting a lot of people. I feel like it's this. Today I learned that when it's really hot, it's really hard for you to like, literally they said, keep your words. You just sort of, they said you could lose like a semester's worth of instruction in like a week of hot weather or something like that. And they had on completely different thing, like had nothing to do with this other thing about the hot weather and the losing the words, but oh well, maybe it was the same thing. Never mind. But the point is, when you're going through like that period, like I was talking about at the beginning, and it's all like, you know, just like all sudden blow-ups in life, you know, that sometimes they're small and they just like sort of boop you on the forehead, and sometimes you have to be hospitalized. But you know, to see your way through these situations that are like new, like they change, like I said, the change of circumstances that changes you, you have to recalibrate. You're definitely like coming from like a flux, and you would literally be at loose ends. Like you would have to rearrange your cables. Rearrange your interior or your exterior, whatever part of you that is that striking and extreme and hits your life, it's gonna change you, you know. So I guess that's a theme we got going here. And I have the needle. Is this card. It's the number 17 card, and the subtitle is intentionality. So I feel like success is often like being the size of me and squeezing through an aperture that big intact, and that spells success. I really condensed the heck out of that. But I feel like it's almost like I don't know if this is gonna make any sense, but sometimes I'll hear tones, and over time, like once you get into your awakening ROLL role, you start to experience these different sensations, and one of them is hearing like tones and beeps and things like that. And I've always heard those. It's not, I don't think it's like an ascension thing. I do know what it is, but I don't. Like, it's not like, oh God, you can't like go to the store and buy it out of a box. It just comes from like the air somewhere. Like, it could be like governments making the tones, but the teachings that I'm learning about it from, that is not where they come from. It's like the angelic realm. It's not going to do that. So like, I feel good about that. What the heck was I just saying? Oh, angelic realm. Oh, look at that. It also looks like the sun, too. Like the Father and the Son. Whoa, you know what? That actually, what looks like an eye here, if you look at it closely, it almost looks like some kind of mirror, or is it like a what do you call those little, is it a brooch where you put the little photograph in? What's in there? In the reflection of what would be the eye. It almost looks like there's a woman in like a black sort of crop top and black pants with dark hair, and then just like open, like you can see her skin the rest of the places. I'm getting all lost. Whoa, there's all kinds of more stuff back there that I have not seen before. I'm losing my intentionality. Oh, but thank you, that just brought me back. So when you're going through the hard times, and like maybe you don't, we always think that like if something is happening going wrong, and that's what we're usually praying and asking for help, but sometimes we want or need something like legitimately, I guess, and that's, our prayers get answered, I think, over all of those choices, but there is a level of seriousness about it. Like, you're not going to get like everything you ask for if it's just totally selfish or frivolous or whatever. That is not the angelic realm's job to be like a vending machine, like one of those claw machines. They want to do like serious work. They want to do good work. They want quality work. They want it to last a good long time. They want bespoke work in the form of behaves. And so I pulled an pardon me, wild unknown animal spirit card, and it's the rabbit. So the rabbit in this case is not a scaredy cat rabbit. It is a wily rabbit, a smart like Bugs Bunny. I guess it's a sarcastic rabbit too. But it's not a victim rabbit. And rabbits are, I guess, kind of wily. They would have to be to, how could they survive? There's so many predators they have after them. There's got to be a little something going on there. It can't all just be luck, I don't think. And also, I mean, you know, the rabbits are sort of notorious for being prolific breeders, but they can, I guess, also be like educators and teachers of like asymmetric anti-warfare, you know. I guess you could say that you would just look at this kind of animal and think, oh, how cute, you know. But I think a lot of times we don't give credit, or maybe almost all the time, we don't give animals credit for their intelligence, because they understand us, I think, a lot better than we give, like I said, than we give them credit for. This is not a stuffed animal, and it's like a mindset and an energy. So it is almost like a little warrior. Like the spirit possibly that you have to also squeeze through there, squeeze through. Might have more on that. So let's see, angel cards, angel number cards. I'm not going to show you the deck. Well, 4 came out. They're so slippery. Like, so many always want to come out, but these ones did. And I thought it was interesting that right before I started doing this, I was watching a video, and it was like, I think I was talking about the full moon or something, but in the comments, the person said, "Oh, I got 111 and 444," and I just pulled these out, and look what the cards are. 2 of them are. So not 444, well, not 3 4s, but 4 of them. Oh my, I just said 4 so many times. So the first one I pulled was this one, I believe, 0404. And the subtitle is Slow Down. Well, yeah, you want to slow down all of that action before it hits you. Because after, it doesn't do you any good. You're slowed. It's no longer a concern. I'm going to read you the keywords before I get to the paragraph. Because of what I was talking about. Balance. Power struggle, force, violence, hope, authority, ancestors, restlessness, low vibrations, warning. It's like a widespread phenomena right now. There's lots of sudden and abrupt things happening. There's lots of exits from the life, basically, and there's lots of people power struggling. True. I know that, like, our American Congress government is struggling for balance. So, well, I don't know, like, a lot of them are not struggling at all. It seems like they are making a concerted effort to just, bollocks up the works, and I feel like that's exactly what it is. Because we have enemies. I'm not going to discuss that now. They're obvious anyway. So force and violence, I guess they go together, don't they? If you watch SVU. Sorry. But after the force and the violence, with the help of SVU, some of the victims can find their way to hope, which is the next word. And authority was, getting somebody to stand next to you when you have to face your accusers. Ancestors, restlessness, low vibrations, warning. So ancestors warning you. Restlessness, low vibrations made me think of Idle's Hands or the Devil's Playground or something like that, or Idle Hands. So I'm going to read the paragraph here attached to it. Pay close attention to the people in your life, your surroundings, and your physical health. Don't freak out. It's just a warning to be careful and awake to avoid any further issues. Communicate clearly and keep healthy boundaries. I like the cut of that card's jib. And then the next card I got was number 111, and the subtitle is Intuition. New beginning. Speaking of crash and burn and get up and start over. Moderation, patience, flow. Moderation on that activity. I'm mixing things here. Let me finish what I'm doing and stop that. So I'm gonna read the paragraph and then come back to the keywords maybe. Time to implement long cherished ideas. You're on the right track toward making your dreams and visions a reality. The right people, circumstances, and resources are being sent your way. Well, I was just like, what did I need? I didn't need anything specific that I was like, I need money for blah. Like, I always have that, but there's so many that it's like window shopping. Like, I know that eventually I'll probably get whatever I want, but just like not anytime soon. That's just the way it goes. It's fine. Excuse me. Flow. Well, I mean, if you just got knocked out of it, you need to catch your breath and get back in, because being out of it is not better. Clarity. And joy. Wow. Well, from flow comes clarity, and I actually think that's pretty accurate. And joy, sure, that could come from there too, like freedom. Movement, self-realization, taking action. Well, those don't even really need any exclamation. And the final keywords are unconditional love. Everybody needs to work on enacting that, going back to the rude, uncaring, dispassionate, no compassion at all, really. And it's funny because something I was listening to today, the host said, all we know how to do is come strong, like with the rudeness and all of that. Oh, I guess it was crying. Although he wasn't the only one today that I heard talking about that. But it's just like, everybody's so resentful of each other. Sorry, it's just like everybody's so resentful of each other and competitive, and it's weird because it's sort of like mimicking what like cutthroat stockbrokers and real estate guys and all these sort of high-end rich people. Like, it's almost like they just kind of do the business sort of for fun, and depending on the business owner and whatever the business is, there's gonna be like some giver and some taker action, I guess. Like, I'm thinking of this person that owns this big corporation, and somehow you end up talking with them. What the heck am I talking about? I'm like going some weird place. I don't even know what I'm saying. Oh, I'm still on this card. That might help me. Huh. Well, I'm gonna not start over, but yes, start over. So the subtitle is intuition, and 111 new beginnings. Like, they're going through this experience that changes you because your circumstances have changed. And so you can't really leap back into anything because there's no back there. It's a whole new situation you have happening. So you've been away, you've been out of commission. You do want to use moderation and not just leap in, and patience. You want to have patience because, again, you want to use moderation because you're not ready quite yet, and you don't want to go in and step on toes, and just you want to ease yourself into the situation. And then patience is the next one, which would be of amazing help to the moderation. Like, maybe they can partner well. And then you have flow, which is where you want to be. Although it's like there was a little bit of buckling from the flow on the previous card. Joy, movement. Well, I feel like those go together, like dancing, whatever it is that you're doing that gets you into the zone, it could be some sport, that is actually bringing you very close to spirit. So that's a good thing to do, and it's good for your body and stuff. Self-realization, also self-helpful. Take some time, take some, like, you have to take a brutal look at yourself. You have to be able to, it's only like now that you could do that, and that there would be like someone with an ex machina situation where they're just constantly keeping track on you. Oh god, I lost track again, speaking of that. So through self-realization, you might come out of your, where is it, out of your stagnancy and move yourself to your next abrupt break with reality, with your new timeline, your collision. So yeah, after you do the, actually the dancing could be therapeutic as well. So clarity, you're clear, you're like, oh my gosh, you're bursting out with joy. And then the movement is the dance because, well, you enjoy it, but also you get paid. And you know the people around, so you already likely know their kid. What am I talking about? I'm just spooling off into these, I don't even know what's, well, anyway, once you go through the event itself and all of the other stuff I said before, like the moderation and the patience and the clarity and and you have the self-realization, taking action is the next subtitle, and unconditional love is the one after that. So it's almost like you're stepping out fresh and new, as a whatever vacuum cleaner, door-to-door salesman, whatever, but you're just new. Go do your job with unconditional love. That's the last keyword on here. So I'm gonna read the paragraph. Time to implement. I already read this, so I need to move on to another card then. Yes, here's the one that is the final card. 4444. That's putting all 4 feet down, rooted. The subtitle is Blessing in Disguise. So again, the incident that like breaks your whole program, and you have to reset, recalibrate, redo, reimagine. It's quite like a pendulum arc from where you are at one time, and suddenly you're in the other place where you're like in the steep descent, and that's terrible and bad when there's something already terrible and bad. So you have like the compounded interest, the 4444. Isn't that interesting? So yeah, the subtitle is Blessing in Disguise. And it's true, like you have this incident where you are injured so badly that you need to be hospitalized, or that your your accounts are injured so badly you have to go to streaming on your phone only. But I mean, I guess that's what it's about. It's like polar shifts, and sometimes we don't wake up to stuff unless there's an extreme event sort of, around us, or it just happens to us personally, because a lot of times our biases and prejudices will not let us see even what our real self thinks. Like, isn't that crazy? Someone else has to unlock the stuff that is in your head. Okay, so I'm going to read the paragraph. There might be some difficulties ahead, but you will push through. Again, this is what I'm talking about. you You always try and get up again if you're physically able, and so you can keep going. You got this. If you have been struggling or feeling lost, the winds of change will blow in your favor. If you've been suffering or feeling lost, some things may fall apart, but you're building the framework for something much better. Hang in there. Okay, I believe that is all the cards except for this last oracle. Oh, there's 2 oracle cards from the Message of Cosmic Oracle cards. So, first one is, do something kind for someone without any expectation. I try to do that as often as possible, even though I feel like sometimes people think I'm just a suck up or something, but I'm just being polite the way I was taught to be. It doesn't hurt anybody. In fact, if we all still knew how to do the polite, we would have a glossary for speaking to each other and behaving with each other when our feelings are not what we should be sharing if we want to conduct business with any ease. So, the first card, it says, do something kind for someone without any expectation. Oh, and I do try to do that, but here, I mean, I'm giving you an example that may as well have landed in my existence today just so I could talk about it with this card. There was a guy outside, and I'm pretty sure he was a tweaker because I could not really understand what he was saying, and he was talking so fast. And I used to be one, so I could kind of recognize it. But he had a bicycle out there, and he needed some tools, and then he said he was my neighbor who I know's relative, so I was like, okay, I can give you the tool, but I didn't like let him come in or anything because sketchy a little bit, and I didn't know him. So I let him use the tool. So he had a bike that was messed up, and it was hot today, and so I stood out there and was talking to him because he had my tools, and I was kind of helping him a little bit, just holding the thing because there was no bike repair stand or anything like that. It's not a place to do what he was trying to do. It was pretty much a sidewalk, but he, even before I knew he was my neighbor's relative, I was still helping him anyway, because it was messed up and it looked like that was all he had. So it's good that he did have family. They did finally come home, but it was so hot, and while he was working out there, and he said something about water, so I just got up and went in, or didn't get up, but I went in the house and just got him some water in a cup I didn't care about, so he could just toss it or whatever, and I just gave it to him because, why the hell not? I'm just sitting here. I got my whole kitchen's resources. Not that I was planning on feeding the guy, but I'm just saying. And water is supposed to be free anyway, and he was very grateful. I think he was very grateful that, someone finally talked to him, because everybody's a bunch of snobs. What am I talking about? Everybody who? Who talked to who? What the heck? Let me get finished here. So, yeah. That's what I did, though. I helped my friend's friend. But I'll do something like that all the time, why not, right? But we have it's true about the harsh feelings we're having for each other. So I know 2 people from this area that just hate the homeless people, and just, like I said, it's like they didn't have a previous life and they're just scumbags or something. And one of them was talking about how the illegal immigrants are getting accommodations and money and all that, and I'm and I'm listening to this person and I'm going, there ain't no way in hell they're giving those people. It's not as good as what you think. Trust me, it's probably some warehouse that looks like a barracks. I'm sure they get some sort of allotment, emergency welfare money or something like that, but I got lost again. I just started talking about something and I have no idea what the heck I was just talking about. Well, anyway, it's good to help people. It comes back to you many-fold. So anyway, I'm gonna read the next card. Man, I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time making sense. You're too amazing to follow everyone else. Forge your own path. That's like everybody I know, like my friends. But that is such good advice. I think that's good advice for people that forget that they're like, the sports team is like a religion, a ritual. It's weird, like with the lucky stuff that you wear and never clean, and that whatever, that whole world, not my world. And I even forgot what I was just saying there. I'm tired, but I wonder if I don't have, like, right now, severe Alzheimer's. I don't want it. I don't want to believe that is what's happening. But coming out of one of those intense periods where you just get knocked out of your orbit, that is your chance to, well, be amazing. This is too, I can't even articulate what I'm trying to say. When you get through one of these periods where your life just gets upended and messed up, and you just come through it intact and in flying colors, and we all do eventually, but that is an amazing feat. Because, like, we just don't really have a great understanding of what each other is going through. And, like, with the homeless thing, like, I had fairly dang cushy accommodations compared to some of the people I see, and they're out there with pets or kids or something, and they don't have a car. That's, like, an amazing person. And so, but when you come through one of these, like, periods where something, like, traumatic happens, it's like it's a new slate to start from. So you kind of can forge your own way and dictate, like, the whys and hows and wherefores of that particular endeavor. And okay, I already did do something kind for someone without any expectation. Well, I don't expect. You know what? Why I help people, especially in the situation today with the dude out in the heat, is because if my shit was broken, I would want someone to help me too. Banking on, gotta bank those good deed points. So I feel like really, like, out of it and scrambled. I hope that was decent. I hope that was understandable. I think it was. Man, I'm just I don't know if this ever happens to you, where you just, like, 1 minute you're normal and the next minute you feel like the anesthesia is coming on, except there's none of that. I have none. And I cannot find those boxes. Why am I sitting here talking to you about it forever? I am finished. Thank you and good night.